Hello, my dear English learners, and welcome back to English with Selena. Have you ever stopped in the middle of a sentence because you were not sure whether to use be, been, or being? Maybe you wanted to say something simple, but suddenly your brain started asking, should I say be, should I say been, or should I say being? If that happens to you, you are definitely not alone. These three words look very similar. They even come from the same verb, but in real English conversations, they do very different jobs. And today, I am going to make that difference so simple that you will not need to memorize a complicated grammar chart. Instead, I want you to remember three simple pictures. For be, imagine a blank picture waiting to show a state. For been, imagine a bridge connecting the past with the present. And for being, imagine a live camera showing behavior happening around this moment. 3 words, 3 pictures, 3 different meanings. Let us begin with be. Listen to this sentence. I want to be confident. Notice that I did not say, I want to am confident. I said, I want to be confident. Why? Because after words and structures like want to, need to, try to, going to, will, should, can, and must, we often use the base form be. For example, I want to be successful. You need to be careful. Try to be patient. She wants to be a teacher. We should be ready. He will be here soon. Can you feel the pattern? Be is the basic form of the verb. Think of it as the word before the sentence chooses am, is, are, was, or were. Here is another everyday situation. Imagine you have an important interview tomorrow. Your friend tells you, you need to be confident. That means confidence is the state you need. Or imagine someone is driving during heavy rain. You might say, please be careful. Again, be introduces the state or condition. Now say this sentence naturally. I want to be better at English. Good. I need to be more confident when I speak. Excellent. And remember something important. Be does not only describe identity. It can describe a state, condition, location, quality, or situation. You can be happy. You can be tired. You can be at home. You can be a student. You can be ready. So when you see be, think basic form. Now let us move to the word that confuses many learners. Been. First, remember the pronunciation. In American English, you will often hear something close to been. In British English, you may also hear been with a longer vowel. But no matter how it is pronounced, the grammar is the same. Been is the past participle of be, and you will commonly see it after have, has, or had. Listen. I have been busy. She has been sick. They have been friends for years. He had been nervous before the interview. Here is the easiest picture I want you to remember. Imagine a bridge. On the other side, you have another point in time, often the present. Been helps us talk about states, situations, experiences, or continuing actions across time. For example, I have been busy all week. The busy period started earlier and continues up to now. I have been tired lately. Again, this describes a period leading to the present. We have been friends for 10 years. The friendship began 10 years ago and is still true today. But here is an important detail. Been does not always mean something is still continuing. It can also appear when talking about completed life experiences. For example, I have been to London twice. That does not mean I am still in London. It means visiting London is part of my life experience. So do not memorize been as only past until now. Instead, remember, been belongs to perfect structures with have, has, or had. That one idea will save you from many mistakes. Now listen carefully. I have been studying English for 2 years. Here, been is followed by studying. This tells us the activity started earlier and has continued over a period of time. Now compare it with, I have been busy for 2 hours. Here, Been is followed by busy. There is no action after it. It describes a state. Let us practice. I have been very busy lately. She has been happy since she changed jobs. We have been waiting for an hour. Beautiful. Now your brain should start connecting been with have, has, had, and time or experience. Now we arrive at being. This is where English becomes really interesting. Imagine a live camera. It is showing what someone is doing or how someone is behaving around a particular moment. Listen to these two sentences. You are rude and you are being rude. They sound similar, but they do not mean exactly the same thing. If I say, you are rude, I am describing you more generally. It can sound like I believe rudeness is part of your personality. But if I say, you are being rude, I am usually talking about your behavior in this situation. Maybe you are normally polite, but right now, your behavior is rude. That is why being can be very useful when talking about temporary behavior. Imagine your friend is usually calm, but today he is complaining about absolutely everything. You might say, you're being negative today. You are not necessarily saying he is a negative person. You are describing how he is behaving now. Or imagine a child refuses to share a toy. You might say, you're being selfish. Again, temporary behavior. Try this one. You're being too hard on yourself. One more. He is being unusually quiet today. Great. But there is another important use of being that many simple lessons forget. Being does not only describe temporary behavior. It is also the ing form of be, so you can see it in other grammatical structures. For example, being kind is important. I enjoy being alone sometimes. She is afraid of being misunderstood. And you may hear it in passive structures such as, the car is being repaired. The room is being cleaned. The problem is being discussed. So our live camera idea is especially useful in sentences like, she is being impatient. But remember that being has other jobs too. This will help you understand real English instead of learning a rule that works only sometimes. Now, let us compare all three. Listen carefully. I want to be confident. I have been confident lately. I am being confident during this presentation. Did you hear the difference? The, basic form. Been, past participle, usually with have, has, or had. Being, the ing form, often used for temporary behavior or ongoing passive situations. Now I want to test you. Do not worry. This is going to be easy. I will give you a sentence with a missing word. You choose be, been, or being. Ready? Sentence number 1. I want to more patient. The answer is be. I want to be more patient. Why? Because we have want to followed by the base form. Number 2. I have been really tired this week. The answer is been. I have been really tired this week because we have plus the past participle been. Number 3. Why are you so quiet today? The answer is being. Why are you being so quiet today? We are focusing on behavior that seems temporary or unusual. Now let us fix some common mistakes. Do not say, I am been tired. Say, I being careful. Say, I am being careful. And do not say, I want to being successful. Say, I want to be successful. Notice how much easier this becomes when you stop looking at the three words as interchangeable. They belong in different structures. Be is the base form. Been is the past participle. Being is the ing form. Now imagine this real-life situation. Tomorrow, you have an important presentation at work. You tell yourself, I need to be prepared. You started preparing yesterday, so later you say, I have been preparing since yesterday. Then during the presentation, you notice that you are criticizing yourself too much. Your friend tells you, you're being too hard on yourself. Did you notice that? All three words appeared naturally in one situation. I need to be prepared. I have been preparing. You're being too hard on yourself. This is how I want you to learn English. Not as isolated grammar rules. Learn it through situations, learn it through patterns, and most importantly, use it. So here is your simple memory trick. BE, basic form. Think, I want to be, I need to be, I will be. Been, past participle. Think, I have been. She has been. They had been. Being, the ing form. Think, you are being. I like being. It is being done. If you remember those three patterns, you will already avoid many of the mistakes English learners make. And now I have a challenge for you. Go to the comments and write 3 sentences. Your first sentence must use be. For example, I want to be fluent in English. Your second sentence must use been. For example, I have been practicing every day. And your third sentence must use being. For example, I am being more careful with my pronunciation today. Do not simply copy my examples. Make your sentences about your real life. Because when grammar becomes connected to your own experiences, it becomes much easier to remember. And the next time your brain asks, be, been, or being, do not panic. Remember the 3 patterns. Be, basic form. Been, past participle. Being, the ing form. Simple, natural, useful. Keep practicing. And most importantly, keep speaking English. If this lesson helped you finally understand be, been, and being, like the video and subscribe to English with Selena for more simple, practical English lessons. I will see you in the next lesson. Until then, keep practicing, keep improving, and keep speaking with confidence.